Hi, how are you doing? This is Pastor Cheryl. We are going through the Synoptic Gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke. And today's reading for our Bible study, is the departure from Galilee. Luke 13:31 through 33. Short, okay? Be patient. And at that very hour, the Pharisees came and said to him, "Get away from here, for Herod wants to kill you." And he said to them, "Go and tell that fox, behold, I cast out demons, perform cures today and tomorrow. And the third day I finish my course. Nevertheless, I must go on my way today and tomorrow and the day following, for it cannot be that a prophet should perish away from Jerusalem." Okay, in other words, he's doing his job, he's got a schedule, he's filling the schedule, and this is called the departure from Galilee. Luke 13 through, 31 through 33. He had a job to do. We all have a job to do. And of course, I have a job to do too. It's called a calling. It's a calling. It haunts you until you do it. And so I was called when I was pretty young. My dad did not agree with me going on to seminary. He thinks girls should just get married and have kids. That was the sum total of it. My brother could have a career because he was the boy. And then us girls were expected to get married and have kids. Marriage is not for everybody. And the guys that I dated, things happened to them. Either they got married to someone else, or they moved away, or something happened to them. I keep finding my old ex-boyfriends in the obituaries. Isn't that scary? They did not live long. Maybe it's a good thing that we didn't get married, right? That I didn't marry these guys. But anyway, I've been fulfilling this job, this thing I'm supposed to do, and Christ is expecting soon. And after that, after he returns, then we'll have 1,000-year peace. So if you've been telling the kids, and if your preacher's been telling the kids we're going to have the end of the world, he's scaring the heck out of them. We had a lot of students, I was a substitute teacher, K through 12, all subjects, all grades. My high school students were reluctant to go on to college to get a big student loan because they said the world is going to end. So what's the point? What's the point? Well, they're not hearing about the millennium. After Christ returns, we're going to have 1,000-year peace. And it's going to be great. It's going to be good. And of course, we'll be coming back with Christ, those of us who have been raptured out, and come back and help rebuild. Wouldn't you want to do that? You'd want to help people, right? You help them rebuild. And anyway, that's kind of our job. That's what we are supposed to be doing. And please tell your kids that the world is just not going to stop spinning, okay? They think it's going to just end and everyone's going to die. And no, it's not going to quite be that dramatic. Yes, we are expecting a war. We're expecting, not necessarily World War III. We're expecting a lot of little wars. Here and there, here in the United States, I'm expecting a civil war. I'm expecting, some real people running up and down streets and burning stores type war like Kristallnacht, I anticipate that. I'll predict that. You get these people on YouTube and they make these predictions. And, I can, I've got the same source. I've talked to God and I can kind of foresee, and then I'm seeing listening to their predictions. And yes, it is disturbing. And no, I don't want to see it happen. But I know it will. I know it eventually will or could. So we have to pray those things out of the way so that we won't see those bad things happening. I had a dream over 20 years ago of a Russian platoon walking down 34th Avenue in East Moline, where there's a bunch of houses, and going to house and arresting people. These are Russian soldiers, apparently taking over the United States. So pray that out of the way. Just pray it out of the way. And what our president is doing with Greenland, it's an ice cube out in the middle of the ocean. Think about that. That's totally insane. The guy's lost it. You know, they talk about minerals in the soil and whatever. You know, it belongs to the Inuit natives. It's like our Eskimos, okay? They call them the Inuit. It belongs to them. They've lived there for thousands of years. We don't have the right to go in and just say, this is our land now. We claim it and stick our flag in the middle of the iceberg. We don't have the right. You know, let's be civilized about this. And so he's moving, I saw an announcement, he's moving some troops in there now. Says it's national security. Really? After he talked about how much their land is worth? Now it's national security? You think I'm dumb? You know, please tell him to be honest. Please tell him to be honest. We just don't march in and take over other people's country. We just don't do that. It's unethical. Anyway, what happened to Jesus here? He had a job to do. That's what he's saying with this little section. You can go ahead and look them up and just enjoy. We are going to be going through this. If you like these little studies and these little homilies, click the like button. Click like and then subscribe. And then, because we are going through a name change and you just might lose us, okay? And we'll breeze on over it. You won't know, you know, but anyway, we are going to go through a name change. We haven't quite figured out yet what to call it. I think we're going to keep the Goose Hollow thing because that's the name of our outdoor chapel where we meet in the summertime. It's pretty out there. Beautiful. And so we will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.